محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن اتبع هداه إلى يوم الدين وبعد. So yesterday we discussed on an hadith that talks about where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded we Muslims, where Allah commanded the Prophet to fight, and he told them the only condition that he used in having mercy on the non-Muslims who were actually killing and fighting the weak Muslims was if only they will accept Islam or they pay jizya. Those are the two reasons why they were asked to fight back. So said you should fight with them until they agree to accept Islam. They agree to accept Islam, and that means when they accept Islam, definitely they will stop the killing, because they were so into killing that they put it into an oppressive manner, that they were killing even the old, the women, and the children, which Islam forbids when it comes to their own way of fighting. So he said, if they can believe in Allah, observe Salah, pay Zakah, that's they become Muslim, they can accept Islam, then they will leave them. And I made it clear to us that we're not fighting them to make it compulsory on them to accept Islam. No. We're fighting, the Prophet was commanded to fight them so as to protect the weak ones among his ummah. So, another chapter is Bab Man Qala Inna al-Imana huwa al-Amal لقوله تعالى وتلك الجنة التي أورثتموها بما كنتم تعملون. Said, another Bab says that you having Iman is part of good deeds. That Iman, having faith, is what we call good deeds. One of the good deeds you do. لقوله تعالى, for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَتِلْكَ الْجَنَّةُ الَّتِي أُورِثْتُمُوهَا, and that Jannah that you have inherited, بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, with what you have done. That's the good deed you do out of Iman is what will make you attain what? The Jannah. وقال عدة من أهل العلم في قوله تعالى فوربك لنسألنهم أجمعين عما كانوا يعملون. He said, and a lot of scholars have stated that, a lot of scholars of knowledge have stated that in the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said فوربك لنسألنهم, that he swear by his own name, لنسألنهم أجمعين, we will definitely ask all of them عما كانوا يعملون, about what they were doing. That's when Muhammad ibn Uthaymin was explaining this, rahimahullah, he said that a Muslim will be questioned on every act of worship he does. Everything a Muslim do on earth, on the surface of earth. That's when he was born till the day he died. He will be questioned about everything. So that's what he used in making the tafsir of this ayah. لَنَسْأَلَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ, ask all of them عَمَّا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, about what they were doing. لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ وَقَالَ لِمِثْلِ هَذَا فَلْيَعْمَلِ الْعَامِلُونَ. So about saying there's no God except Allah, he said لِمِثْلِ هَذَا, for something like this, فَلْيَعْمَلِ الْعَامِلُونَ, those that are doing good deeds should continue. That La ilaha illallah refers to, they should continue doing their good deeds out of Iman. So that's where the Iman comes out. That's where Iman comes out. That is what? It is part of faith. It is Iman, that's part of faith. Having faith is part of good deeds. So the hadith said, Ahmad bin Yunus wa Musa Ismail قال حدثنا إبراهيم بن سعد حدثنا ابن شهاب عن سعيد المسيب عن أبا هريرة أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the hadith was said to Imam Bukhari by Ahmad bin Yunus wa Musa by Ahmad bin Yunus wa Musa ibn Ismail. But the person who had it directly from the Prophet ﷺ was Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سئل أي الأعمال أفضل. He said the Prophet ﷺ was asked أي الأعمال أفضل, which good deeds is best. قال إيمان بالله, he said it's for you to believe in Allah ورسوله and his messengers. قيل ثم ماذا, he was asked then what. قال الجهاد في سبيل الله, then after you believing in Allah and his messengers, then jihad في سبيل الله. Then قيل ثم ماذا, قال حج مبرور, he said, and he was asked which other one is better after jihad في سبيل الله. He said حج مبرور, that he should what, that he should perform hajj. So the point of this hadith is, there's a key point in this hadith. The question of Ayyul Amal Afdal, which good deed is best, it came in multiple hadith. The Prophet, Allah gave him that wisdom that he answers question based on the state the Muslims were in that moment, based on their state. 1. 2. Depends on the person asking the question. That's the way you answer the question. That's, if you come to me as a knowledgeable person and ask me, Sheikh Toha, to plait hair, is it halal in Islam? I'll be able to clarify you that okay, to plait hair is halal, but not in this type of community. Do you get it? Prophet ﷺ plait his hair into 4 parts because he was having a lengthy hair. He plait his hair, and why it was okay for him was the Muslims there, the Muslim women there don't plait their hair, even those that open it. And the women there don't plait their hair. That's for the non-Muslims, they don't plait their hair. And those who were Muslims, they cover their hair. So it does not show that it is what tashbih. But in a community like this, you cannot plait your hair, because if you plait your hair, you are behaving like women. You are using it compared with women, because you have women who plait their hair and expose their hair. So there will be difference between you and women. And Prophet has forbid us from behaving like who? Women. Why did I translate like this? Because what? You are a knowledgeable person. But if a person that is ignorant, I know once I just tell him yes, he won't want to listen to the rest. You just take Sheikh Toha said to plait is halal and go. What will I tell him? I'll tell him no. I'll just go straight to the other answer that no, it's no good. Based on the place we are and type of person he is, I'll tell him no, you cannot plait your hair Islamically. That's the wisdom Prophet was having. And there's one sheikh that actually does this now that I actually respect a lot, Sheikh Imam Fawzan. He will answer one question with different answers. People were like, he does not give a straight answer to the question. I said no. He asked question based on the person who is asking the question. That's the same thing Prophet was doing. So in another hadith, in Adab al-Mufrad, the first hadith in Adab al-Mufrad, he was asked, Ayyul Amal Afdal, which action is best? He said, As-salat ala waqtiha. That was the first. He said, observing salah in its time is the best. That was the first one. They said, Summa mada? He said, Summa birrul walidin, obeying your parents. They said, Summa mada? He said, Summa jihadu fi sabilillah. Then performing jihad. But in this aspect, they were referred to Iman. When one asked the question, he said, the first one is what? Iman billah wa rasulihi, to believe in Allah and who? His prophets. Then, they said, Summa mada? He said, Summa jihadu fi sabilillah. After believing in Allah and his prophets, then what? You should perform jihad. Then he said, Summa mada? He said, Hajj mabrur. Then you should go for Hajj. Hajj mabrur. Now, you go for Hajj. That performing Hajj, performing pilgrimage is the 3rd best deed. All these things, they are best, but he answered them according to who? The state the Muslim were, and the person asking the question. That was the way he gave the answers. So that, because some people might know the hadith, why I clear this part first. But because some people might know the hadith, the first hadith that said, As-salatu ala waqtiha, and others, and they might want to tackle the other hadith that no, that's the one that they said is out. Probably this one is da'if. No, it's not da'if. It is based on the way the person who asked the question is, and the state the Muslims were at that moment, that's how people answer questions. And there are sometimes you see some questions, you will know the main aim of the person asking the question. So you answer that question based on, so to cover that aim. I can't really remember an example to use here. There are some questions you will receive, and this is why the person is asking this question. If you should answer that question the way it is, directly to that person that probably is not an knowledgeable person, is not a person that has that wisdom enough to assimilate what you are explaining to him, will just take it to his own benefit. Then is it that you don't answer the question at all, or you just what? You just give the person the direct answer that it's befitting for the person. You don't go against the will of Islam. Don't say anything that is not Islamic, but you just have to give the person the direct answer. Just like, and there are some questions you'll be asked. It's even best for you not to answer it. Just like Sheikh Mustafa al-Adawi. Mustafa al-Adawi was asked the question. He knows the answer perfectly. But if he should answer that question, it's going to cause calamity. You know what he said? He said, حَقِّي عَلَى نَفْسِي أَنْ أَقُولَ لَا أَدْرِي. He says, it's my right. It's right upon myself to say I don't know. It's best I say I don't know. That's the way he answered the person. The Prophet also used this hikmah, depending on the person asking and state he is using answer the question. So let's explain the hadith. He said, the first one is Iman billah. To what? To have faith in Allah. To have faith in Allah. As far as Sheikh that have preached for us have told us the type of faith we should have in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should what? We should have Iman that will obey His ibadat. Scholars need us to understand that this hadith and the previous hadith were in different bab, but they are also in the same way. Like the hadith is kind of a backup for the other one that says you should fight those who fight you. So it's just like a continual. Said the first one, Iman billah. You should have faith in Allah. Have total Iman billah. Have faith in. I've explained Iman billah severally because it has occupied in this chapter of this book of Iman. That you should have faith in Allah. Having faith in Allah is not just by observing your salah, like scholars like Sheikh told us. Not just by observing your salah. You add other ibadat. Because the hadith says your deeds with what they question you about. You add other ibadat. Do as much as you can. You are observing salat. You observe salat to subh. Before it, try as much as possible to observe what? Rak'atayn al-fajr. Prophet even made it more explanatory to us that to show how beneficial salat al-fajr is. He said, if you, for instance, you were unopportune, Allah did the step for you to wake up early that moment that you'll be able to pray fajr before what? Before subh, before salat subh. He said, okay, after you finish observing the fajr, go back after subh, salat subh, go back and what? Observe rak'atayn al-fajr. So as to attain the reward. Some Western scholars, they said, the richest man in the world, the one who observed what? Salat al-fajr. In a day, the one who observes salat al-fajr. That's to show you how massive the reward is in salat al-fajr. And it will even be among the things that will testify for you on the day of judgment. He said, "Wa Quran al-Fajr, inna Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda." That Quran al-Fajr, God make us understand that Quran al-Fajr means what? Salat al-Fajr. Because automatically, based on basics, Salat al-Fajr was meant to be lengthy. We as Muslims, we're supposed to memorize Quran. So we're supposed to make Salat al-Fajr before Salat al-Subh, kind of a tahajjud form, and to be lengthy, read long surahs in it. That it is what? Mashhuda. That on the day of judgment it will come as a witness to us. To be a witness for that actually observed it. So it will what? Give your salah weight. So believing in Allah is not just following the commandments of Allah. Wa Rasul, we also do that with the Prophet. You do other good deeds. That will make you just do as much good deeds as you can. Prophet said, لولا أن أشق على أمتي لأمرتهم بالسواك عند كل صلاة. That if you don't want to make it difficult on his ummah, you would have commanded them to use miswak, to use chewing stick before every salah. How many of us are using it? Even me myself. Sometimes I'll say I'll buy chewing stick, I'll get you. If I start today, I'll stop the other day. So we should try about to do this miswak. Then refer to jihad. Let me just stop there and enter jihad. So the other one is what? Jihad fi sabilillah. This miswak of a thing. There was a time during the time of Prophet, there was a war they were fighting. And they were about observing salah. Despite they were at the battlefield, they had the way they group themselves. Like they'll share themselves into 3 groups. The first and second group, the first group will continue the fight. The second group will protect those who are praying, and the third group will be the one praying. So when they finish praying, they'll continue like that. And that's how they group themselves. So there was a time, these people, they were about starting a war. And they noticed that some of them went back, because they were non-Muslim. They went back and they were making ablution. They saw some of them brought out their stick, practicing sunnah, and they were brushing their teeth. In the battlefield, they were brushing their teeth. And people were like, subhanallah. These people don't want to use sword again, they want to use their teeth. They are not sharpening their teeth. And that's how they wonder about it. They just run away out of fear. These people are practicing sunnah. Like, they didn't even know it was sunnah. They were just brushing their teeth out of sunnah. They thought they were actually sharpening their teeth. So they want to fight them with their teeth this period. So out of that fear, they want to, and there are other things that Allah made hidden in this miswak that we don't know. Not just cleansing of the mouth. Just imagine how we need to protecting them. There was a time Sheikh Abdul Razak came to this mosque and he explained about a man who got a job just because he had miswak in his pocket. The way he was able to explain that use of miswak, that was what made him win the interview. So there are a lot of benefits in practicing sunnah. Imam actually told me about someone that Allah saved just because of the Islamic dressing he was putting on. Sometimes Allah made it that even these armed robbers, kidnappers, they actually have respect for clerics. So if they see you are dressed in an Islamic form, they will respect you. They will just ask you to, this vehicle is not good for you, come down. And that's how Allah will just save your life, just because of what? The Islam you practice. Then jihad fi sabilillah. Let me explain that hadith of yesterday in this other and in a good angle now. Jihad fi sabilillah, jihad is of different ways. It's not all about war. Jihad, the meaning of jihad basically is what? To strive, to struggle. So the jihad that the Prophet did was to defend, not to attack. Muslims should not misquote this. Not attack non-Muslims, no. It was to defend themselves, to protect others. That was why the jihad came. I've already explained that part yesterday. And the hadith was umirtu. According to Sheikh Ali Amin, Hafidhullah, he said umirtu. That the Prophet said he was commanded. It did not say umir now, we were commanded. It did not say umirtu, you were commanded. He said umirtu, he made it khas so that him himself, he was what? Commanded. And he explained it to them. That okay, why we are being commanded to fight was what? To defend these weak ones. So that's not mean Muslims should fight. Don't say, okay, because people are attacking you and there are other ways you can make it, you just put it over so that they are doing sunnah. No. You're actually just causing hatred. That's not Islam. So Islam, the only time Islam permits you to fight is what? To defend yourself. If you can even fight that you don't kill, it's better. But when you are defending yourself, that's what I said. When in the act of defending yourself, for instance, someone wants to attack you, and you are a type of person that learns wrestling, that's Islamically, love for you to learn wrestling, boxing. Just have the skills of defending yourself in fighting, especially as a man. People who said you should even teach your kids, take them to boxing school if you can. If you know how to fight, teach them taekwondo, teach them how to, some kind of keep points on how to box, to defend themselves, especially your women too, to avoid rapists and all that. So if you can defend yourself, when you see someone, this person, you are very sure that if you don't defend yourself, he will kill you. Then you can defend yourself. If the aspect of defending yourself, that you are a good puncher, you know how to punch somebody in the chest that can fall down, you know the points to give the person that will fall down, then perhaps the person dies from that spot. You won't be recorded as someone who killed someone. Recorded as someone who would save himself. But if you say, no, you believe in Allah, I don't want to die, I ask someone to kill you. You say, you want to, you will die Shahida. No, you are not dying Shahida because you have the power to defend yourself. Then you should defend yourself. Then the other part of jihad, you should understand that when we hear jihad, it's not just about war, not about fighting. Anything striving. I mentioned it yesterday that even these scholars that come from one place to another, they are striving. This place you strive most, that you cannot escape striving at all, is aspect of knowledge. You cannot escape it. Being in Saudi that they pay you salary and you are being served food, you cannot escape striving. If it's only to understand one hadith, just imagine this hadith I just explained. And if your knowledge will not wide enough, maybe I have not done enough research, I'll be like, oh, what about the other hadith? Check the other hadith, they said it is like this. I'll give you an instance. This book, Sahih Bukhari, they call it As-Sahih al-Kutub al-Quran, the best, the most correct book, the most authentic book after Quran. That there is no doubt in it that Imam Bukhari himself, he neglected some hadith just because the person exchanged one haraka. One haraka. The person is supposed to put Dhamma and he went to put Fatha. Fa'il, Islamically is what? It takes Marfu' to be Dhamma. But the person, when the Rawi put Fatha, the wife was like, the Isnad was Sahih. All the families, everybody, all the men that narrated this from Prophet down, they actually met each other. That shows the Rijal was Sahih, and none of them were joking or anything. He said, Yes, but the person neglected one haraka. Said he neglected one haraka. He said, okay, probably the person just mistake while he was typing. He said exactly. Because he know the person mistakes while he was writing it. So the person can change one haraka mistakenly. The person can also change one text from it mistakenly. So for that reason, he left the hadith. Then, after you've known this, you will see somewhere there's an hadith. We'll talk about where Allah will remove people from hellfire. After the people of paradise are going to paradise, people of hellfire are going to hellfire. So Allah will remove those people from hellfire and put them where? Ma'ul haya'i awul hayati shakka malik. So put them inside, it's actually water. But he said one of the rawi was having doubt that is it haya'i or hayati that Prophet mentioned. He actually stated that he was having doubts. But the hadith was inside the Sahih Bukhari that they said any book that you just find out a little doubt, you will neglect it. See the way those your two ideologies will affect each other. So as a lot of knowledge, you'll be very confused if you are a type that does said, like, well, this book is the most. But me myself, I was confused when I saw it. This book is Mukoebu, but why do we have doubt in it? So that's what scholars have made us to understand. That's why you search for knowledge wide. You don't just read one hadith and go. No, you will read other hadiths that is attached to it. You read what scholars have said about it. You check ayats, different things. So he said, the law is once it has been stated that there is a doubt, and the doubt was pointed out, the doubt was highlighted, like they mentioned that okay, this is the doubt we were having in this book. They mentioned the two options that is either haya or hayat, haya'i or hayati. It's clear that okay, the doubt is mentioned. That does not make the hadith worse, da'if. Does not make the hadith less authentic, since it was clear. But if it was not mentioned, and probably while you were making research for the hadith, you found out that one narration said haya'i, the other one said what? Hayati, and they were not sure of which was mentioned. That's when you say, this hadith is having what? It's probably what? Da'if. That if the doubt was not mentioned, and you later discovered it yourself, if that man has mentioned in that book that okay, he does not know if the prophet used, for example, where something is supposed to become dumma in the heart. When you say, for example, Qatla Dawudu Jaluta, you cannot say Qatla Dawuda Jaluta. Exactly. So if the person had mentioned in that book that okay, I don't know if it is Qatla Dawuda or Qatla Dawudu, if he had mentioned it like that, that hadith would have been written. So that it would not be called Da'if if he had stated his doubt. That probably it was a doubt he was having from one of the narrators, and I explained the narrator that actually had that doubt, then the hadith would have been Sahih. But there was nothing like that. That's what the hadith was what? Da'if. So when a student of knowledge will also will be very confused. There are some backs you do. You'll be very confused on how to preach it to other people. Because it's something you know that is compulsory. You find that it's not even compulsory. And there's no how you can tell people that it's not compulsory. Because if it's not compulsory, what? It will what? It will affect the deen. So even strive to show anything you strive for the sake of Allah is what we call jihad. It's not until you fight war, until you kill somebody. No. You preach is jihad. You will take from your money, you need to sponsor someone else in Islamic school is jihad. You do not in the mosque out of the money you need is what? Jihad. Anything you do that causes you a bit of uncomfort, but for the sake of Allah, is what we call jihad. Jihad fi sabilillah. Hope that is clear. Then the last one, he said Hajj Mabrur. And to what? To perform Hajj. Hajj, it is not compulsory. It is compulsory, but for those who are capable. Those who Allah has given the power. And Allah knows those who are capable. If you are the type of person that can earn 10 million, 20 million in 6 months, or probably in a year, how much is Hajj? Hajj is quite expensive now, we know. But it's 5 million. I know in a year what you use, you earn 20 million in a year, and what you use in a year is 10 million. So you can, okay, I will use this year in making enough money. Spend 10 million, remove 5 million for Hajj, save the other 5 million. So next year, next year, inshallah, next year, you will what? Add your other income and use it in what? Moving for the Hajj. Since you are earning enough, that's for those who have that income, that source of income, then they should what? They should try as much as possible. So, perform Hajj once in a while. It is one of the best deeds. You can't say, okay, you are rich. And since Allah did not make it, it's not compulsory. It is compulsory. It is part of pillars of Islam, the 5th pillar of Islam. But it's only compulsory on who is capable. So pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy on us. May He increase our iman. May He make it easy on us to perform all the good deeds. May He make it easy on us to perform good deeds. And may He use those good deeds